In the ancient and mystical kingdom of Kokori, where the sun kisses the earth with golden rays, casting long shadows from ancient huts and towering wooden totems, a king's legacy is not passed down through bloodline. It is earned. Here, when a ruler falls, the throne does not simply wait to be filled, and must be claimed, not by age, not by wealth, but by a courage so profound it can face the impossible. The rhythmic beat of distant drums now carries a somber tone, for the heart of the kingdom has grown silent. The royal palace, once a symbol of strength, is now draped in black cloth, a testament to the sorrow that has befallen the people. King Mandika, the great lion of Kokori, has taken his final breath. His reign has ended, and the kingdom, now leaderless, drifts in a sea of uncertainty, its future hanging precariously in the balance. The next morning, as the sun rises to a kingdom in mourning, the people of Kokori gather in the royal courtyard. A heavy silence hangs in the air, broken only by the authoritative presence of the high priest Babalu. Dressed in the sacred ceremonial lion skin that has been passed down for generations, he raises his staff, its shadow stretching long across the anxious crowd. His voice, deep and booming, echoes off the stone walls, carrying the weight of tradition. Hear the law of our fathers, the ancient decree that has guided us through every change of power. To replace a fallen king, one must journey into the shadows and retrieve the egg of the great fire dragon from the treacherous deep forest. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd. Whispers of fear spread like wildfire. An elder woman, her face etched with the wisdom of years, leans to her neighbor, her voice a trembling whisper. But none who have entered that forest have ever returned alive. The high priest's gaze sweeps over the sea of faces, his expression stern. 10 warriors shall go. Whoever returns with the egg shall be crowned the new king of Kokori. A moment of tense silence follows, and then, one by one, 10 brave men step forward. They are the kingdom's finest seasoned warriors, skilled hunters, formidable fighters. And among them, a figure so small he is almost lost in their shadows. Kasongo, a teenage boy, armed not with a sword or a spear, but with a simple wooden staff clutched tightly in his hands. One of the warriors, a giant of a man with scars marking his face, scoffs at the sight of him. Boy, this is not a game. Go home before you get hurt. But Kasongo, though his heart pounds in his chest, stands his ground. His voice, though gentle, carries a firmness that surprises them all. The kingdom needs a king. I will try. With their mission set, the 10 chosen men venture into the oppressive gloom of the deep forest. The canopy of enormous, ancient trees is so thick that it chokes the sunlight, casting the world below into a perpetual twilight. Strange, unsettling cries echo through the dense foliage, and a thick, coiling fog clings to their feet, obscuring the path ahead. This is the deep forest, a place of legend, home to wandering spirits, lurking shadows, and the ancient fire dragon, whose coveted egg is said to burn with the intensity of the rising sun. As they push deeper into the forbidding woods, a sudden, thunderous roar shakes the very ground beneath them, a sound so powerful it feels as if the world is being torn apart. One of the warriors cries out in sheer terror, "It's here!" A scorching wind, impossibly hot, sweeps through the trees, carrying with it the scent of ash and brimstone. Flames burst from the darkness, illuminating the terrified faces of the men. In that moment, chaos erupts. The brave warriors who had stepped forward with such confidence now scatter in every direction, their courage swallowed whole by an overwhelming fear. They drop their weapons, their only thought to escape the fiery wrath of the beast. One by one, they flee, their shouts of panic fading into the distance until silence falls once more. But one figure remains. Kasongo stands alone, his body trembling, his knuckles white as he grips his wooden staff. Every instinct screams at him to run, yet he refuses to move. He takes a deep breath and presses on, guided by a faint, warm glow that seems to pulse from the heart of the forest. Kasongo walks deeper into the unknown. The further he goes, the brighter the light becomes, cutting through the oppressive darkness like a beacon of hope. He finally emerges into a large, circular clearing, and his breath catches in his throat. There, curled around a single magnificent egg that glows with an internal golden fire, lies the great fire dragon. Its scales shimmer like molten gold and rubies, and even in sleep, its sheer size and power are breathtaking. There was the egg of kings, but between it and the boy stood the great beast of flames, an insurmountable obstacle of myth and legend. Instead of reaching for a weapon he did not have, Kasongo does something unexpected. He slowly kneels, placing his staff on the ground beside him. Closing his eyes, he brings his hands together and whispers a prayer, not to any god, but to the creature before him. Great creature, I seek not your life. I have no weapon to harm you. I seek only what my kingdom needs to survive. The dragon, disturbed from its slumber, opens one massive, burning eye. It fixes its gaze on the small boy, and for a moment the world holds its breath. But instead of unleashing a torrent of fire, it lowers its massive head, its gaze softening as if it senses the purity and sincerity in the boy's heart. Where the brute strength and bravado of the warriors had failed, the innocence and humility of a boy had won. With a slow, deliberate movement, Kasongo approaches the nest. He gently lifts the warm, smooth egg with both hands, its light illuminating his face. He bows his head to the dragon in a gesture of profound respect. In response, the great beast lets out a deep, rumbling purr, a sound that vibrates through Kasongo's very soul. Then, spreading its magnificent wings, the dragon launches into the sky, vanishing into a shower of golden light, leaving the boy and the egg alone in the now silent clearing. Back in Kokori, the late afternoon sun casts long shadows as the villagers gather once more, their faces etched with anxiety and fading hope. One by one, the 9 warriors straggle back, their heads bowed in shame, their hands empty. The high priest, Babalu, looks upon them, his expression grim. Is this all? Where is the 10th? Just as despair begins to settle over the crowd, a figure appears on the distant horizon. The figure is small, walking with weary steps, but carrying something that glows with a brilliant golden light. A ripple of disbelief turns into a wave of excitement. Shouts erupt from the crowd. It's Kasongo, the boy, he lives. The people part like the sea as Kasongo, exhausted but standing tall, walks into the courtyard. He makes his way through the cheering throng until he stands before the high priest. With every ounce of remaining strength, he kneels and extends the glowing prize. Revered priest for the Kingdom of Kokori, I bring the dragon's egg. The courtyard erupts into thunderous cheers, a joyous sound that chases away the last shadows of grief and uncertainty. That night, the kingdom celebrates. The palace grounds are ablaze with the light of 100 torches, and the air thrums with the powerful, celebratory beat of drums. The dragon's egg, a symbol of impossible hope, sits on a stone altar surrounded by sacred carvings, its glow seeming to bless everyone present. The high priest, Babalu, stands before the altar and raises his hands for silence. His voice rings out, filled with reverence and joy. Hear this. By our ancient law, by the courage that has renewed our kingdom, he who brings the dragon's egg shall sit upon the throne. He lifts the sacred lion skin crown, the symbol of kingship, and places it gently on Kasongo's head. He turns to the cheering crowd and presents their new ruler. I present to you, Kasongo, King of Kokori. The crowd's roar is deafening. Women begin to dance, men beat their drums with renewed vigor, and children shout their new king's name with pure, unadulterated joy. As a new dawn breaks over the kingdom, King Kasongo sits on the great, carved wooden throne. The morning sun streams through the windows, framing him in a halo of light, as if nature itself is offering its blessing. And so, a boy the world had overlooked, a boy armed with nothing but a pure heart and unwavering resolve, became the king that fate had chosen. His reign was not won by strength, nor was it seized by power. The humble ruler, whose wisdom and compassion brought prosperity to Kokori for generations to come, proving that true leadership is measured not by the might of one's arm, but by the size of one's heart. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from Lands of Legend.